Hello, I'm Pika, and welcome back. Today I want to try something new. People who follow me on Twitter may have seen that a few days ago I sent out a poll asking if anyone would be interested in VOD review style content. This essentially involves me sitting down and watching back recordings of my own gameplay and breaking down what's going through my head at each point of the match. This is a good way to get some insight into how I view the game and how I try to execute my role, as well as maybe gain some potential game knowledge by hearing my thoughts on what I did well and where I made some mistakes, and perhaps just get an idea on what VOD review even looks like. When done right, VOD review is the most effective way to quickly identify your strengths and weaknesses as a player, and finding what you should be focusing on in the near future to get the most value out of practice time, so it's an important skill to have. Anyway, in my Twitter poll I asked what weapon people would want to see first, and Blob won rather convincingly, so that's what we're starting with. Normally VOD reviews can be rather lengthy and detailed, but for the sake of keeping this video somewhat concise and engaging, I'll keep things light. By the way, this match is from a ranked Senju set. If you haven't heard of Senju and are curious what it is, I'll leave a link to a video by Chara that explains it rather well down below. That's all the explaining done, so let's get into it. So I'm sure you all noticed during that rather lengthy intro that the map mode is Shellendorf Zones. I don't have to say too much more there. Our comps are Bloblubber, Ballpoint Nouveau, VDreamer, and CDS versus K-Shot, Tetra, Splash, Neo, and Rapid Pro Deco. So immediately as this match is loading up, I'm asking myself what does my team comp want and what does their team comp want. We have Triple Storm on Shellendorf, which is pretty nice because the glass area is very vulnerable to storm. You can just hang over it and pressure it. It's very hard to stand up there if you're an opponent. So I really like our comp for this map. We also have a fair bit more range than the opponent. That being said, the opponent is going to be very aggressive, not only because they have less range and doesn't need to push into us in order to take space, but also just like look at their comp, especially this full QR stealth jump Tetra. They're going to be running forward a lot. This team is going to be looking to take a lot of fights. So I'm immediately thinking my team is going to need ways to lock down flanks, most likely by holding down the sides of the map, the left and right around zone. Since glass is not connected on zones over the top, it's not too important to watch that for the sake of flanks, but it's obviously nice to control. And the only weapon on their team that is really threatening from that glass position is the Rapid Pro because of the range they have. The other weapons cannot really reach too far, so again, we're mostly focusing on the bottom part of the map and on the sides. I'm starting out this match by swimming to the right side of the map. That's because both Blob from under this ledge can be very threatening to this high ground position while being rather safe, but also because I have a really good angle over zone with how wide yet narrow this zone is. Being able to shoot from right to left or from left to right as a Blob is a very easy way just to keep control of it. It's very hard for the opponent to contest that due to Blob's painting patterns. Unfortunately, the other team doesn't really want to let me take this right side so easily. The Rapid Pro shoots me, so I back up, and this player right here pushes forward. I try to shoot them over the box, but unfortunately they will cross over it onto glass. But this is alright, because at this point, this aggro player is currently still very alone, and my team currently has a numbers advantage due to our kill on the Rapid, and we can now just start to paint zone. This Tetra can't do too much to influence the zone from here, so what I'm trying to do is just keep him pinned in our glass, being rather irrelevant. I have more range than him, and he has an awkward weapon to fight around this area, so I'm just going to keep him stuck here. He can't really kill me, he can't really paint zone, I'm just keeping him irrelevant. Drop down and pop a storm as well for zone just to help with paint, but as you see I'm just floating around here while we're steadily taking up points. I do accidentally fall off here while trying to pressure the Tetra, but it's okay because I can still shoot him from low ground due to Blob's funny angles. They do drop a splashdown into zone as well, which is honestly a pretty good play, but I am able to clean it up. Unfortunately now what I am thinking of, now that we have zone, is again I want to secure these right sides, both in general but especially against this comp on this map, but unfortunately the pro does see me coming, it just absolutely domes me. I tried to put down a wall fast enough, but it just wasn't in time. I realistically could have painted this area a bit more with some shots before swimming in, so it was a bit reckless to just charge in head first trying to take that area. I think it was the right area to look at the right time, but I could again just had a safer approach. And the Rapid getting that kill on me just sort of confirms that. At this point, due to both me and our ballpoint going down, we do have to forfeit the zone in a bit of the map, so we are resetting here. This beacon is nice though to get us in pretty early, and we can clean up this Tetra as they rutted. But I am pincered by another one. At this point we're still in disadvantage. It's all about just painting up, getting specials, and trying to retake again. Now at this point we are rather locked out. Their comp doesn't have too much range, so we're not the most threatened from our spawn area, but unfortunately 3 of them are gathered on right and my ballpoint is stuck here. I do try to come over and help them, and unfortunately I'm not able to. However, because there are 3 short-range weapons all stuck on this part of the map, the rest of my teammates can try to swim to the far left and retake zone that way, or even just get some more mid-presence. Because these weapons don't have much range and they're all the way out here, in order to stop us they have to give up this position and swim all the way over to us. So it's a rather free option to get in some space on the map. I choose to go for ink rail and pressure glass a bit like this. Dropping down. I have faith that I can force them off glass. It's a bit of a risky play, But I do manage to drop down, and I accidentally land on top of this bomb rusher. Happy accident, get this kill. And then I have 2 down, so this zone flip is rather easy. I will first try to push this rapid before flipping zone though, and the reason being, I'm very focused on securing this side. As soon as we get the kill over here, if zone isn't already flipped, I can just immediately turn to help, but my teammates do thankfully clean up behind me, and I do also get a double here. Now at this point, I should be rather content to just sit around the right side of the map and paint and hold this. I do get a little bit antsy though. I see an opportunity to get on top of this box and pressure their glass, and I do go for it, but it's way too risky, and you're gonna see I'm gonna get punished for this, as I should be. Like, I like the idea I was going for, being able to pressure glass like that. It's a funny off angle that Blob can take, but no, we did not have the positioning or information for me to be safe doing that. Thankfully though, my teammates do get to clean up. I do get to jump right back in, thank you ballpoint and beacons, and I can move right back down to this right side. And this time I'm a lot more reserved. This is how I should have done it the first time. Hang out down here, pressure this high ground, all my teammates get a pick on that, and I can just hang out here. Get a lot of paint pressure while being rather safe. This is a really strong position on this map for Blob. Now here I'm very sad because my capture card actually had a small spike the moment I jumped forward to kill this Tetra and splashed out above zone. It was such a nice kill, but the capture card's frozen. But trust me, it was cool. Alright, believe me. Anyway, I can just continue to hang around on this right side. Because they don't have much glass presence, we just killed the Rapid and he's on respawn. The Tetra is also dead. We know both the other teammates, through the bombs they're throwing, that they're under mid. This means I can just shoot forward like this, and I'm shooting into short range weapons as a blob in a confined space. They're not going to be having much fun, and I do get a nice kill here. And this is a very nice pick. Getting this kill is huge for being able to help hold this zone. Even though they do have a bomb rush on the zone right now, we still have like 4 versus 1 more or less. The last 2 teammates are still on respawn, not helping this person paint. So even though they have bomb rush on the zone, we are still very likely to hold it. That is, if I did not unfortunately miss the fact that Rapid Pro dropped behind me in a second, and he is going to shoot me in the back and kill me. I should have been checking this a bit better, knowing that the Rapid Pro died about 10 seconds ago. He is going to be back respawned and be able to push back into me. I should have just been checking that. I was not very aware of respawn cycles there. Hey, because I went down, they will also have crossfire on zone. I will not be able to help hold, and we will lose zone here. But it's alright, we do have beacons, I can jump back in. We're on glass. I'm forced down to here because of the rapid shots, and it is rather scary, but thankfully splash wall is rather huge. At this point, I do not want to push straight up this ramp into them. One, because they're expecting that, and I've done that a fair few times this match already. But also, I want to secure the flank and make sure that they can't get up into glass and pincer my team that way or get rid of our high ground position for our ballpoint. What I choose to do instead is I still want to contest them on this right side flank, but I swim back towards our court and fight them from this angle. Now I'm both with my junior to help fight this. I'm still from a safer angle, while still being impactful, and now I'm also not chasing them. If I chose to come in from mid and they push forward into my base, I'd be behind them trying to chase their flank in. But like this, instead we can pincer them in a corner, they're stuck, and this is a rather easy pick. We're gonna force them into mid. I do miss a few shots so they get a wall down, but still I'm not too scared in this fight. They have to hit me twice, and I can get away with it. Do get another nice pick here. Now here, I noticed that this has to be a splashdown jump. Is a random jump in the open, and their Tetra has splashdown already. So I'm starting to panic because I am very much in the open against the splashdown. I'm likely to die, but I do actually notice this box. I am rather proud of this play, I'm going to be honest. Some fast thinking, and we can clean up the Tetra together. Nice triple, we get the zone flip. And because this person's the last one alive in a 1v4, I'm calling to push this with my teammate, the Squelchies. They're coming up with me. We know he's behind this pillow, I just saw him swim there. So each of us take a side of this pillow and just pincer him like this. Very nice pick. And that's effectively a full wipe. Now at this point, the opponent team is completely wiped. They're all on respawn. They don't have any specials ready because they all died. We have a lot of map control. I can just play under ledges, keep them out. This storm is a bit early, but I like where I put it on top right. Now what the storm is going to let me do is it's going to halt their advance out of spawn coming top right, and it's going to let me safely swim back up to mid like this to get a position under this ledge instead. Now know that they didn't push up, or if they did, they'll be marked on the map because they took damage to the rain. You can actually see on the very brief frame here when I flash my map, I do see these 2 people here. They took damage because of the storm, and now I know because I see them and that they're moving forward to immediately start pre-firing this angle and look for a pick. Unfortunately, because of armor and because of the splash wall, I'm not actually able to secure a kill, but I am applying a lot of pressure. At this point, I do also see both these players want to fight me, and I don't blame them. I'm being a rather big nuisance to their push from this angle. I do get cornered, and at this point, I'm pretty much screwed. I know I'm gonna die. It's very rough to get a kill in an armored Tetra, especially as a blobber, and I'm already weak. However, because I'm drawing 2 of them away from zone while we still have plenty of map control, this does put my team in a very good advantage. They can still come up behind these people as they're finishing me off in this corner and try to clean up this kill. Unfortunately, the Tetra does actually clutch out the kill, so the setup doesn't end up working, but still, I think that was more or less the correct play there. There was not many ways I could escape that situation without dying, not really anything that I can see, and pulling their attention into a corner, breaking their armors, making them weak, did a lot to put my team in the best position possible. This again, unlucky sometimes. Even when the setup is right, things can still happen. They do manage to flip zone here, but thankfully I have this beacon, I can jump in. I know because you can see people on map near the beacon, I know this jump is safe because I see everyone, even though they're slightly close, they're all under mid. No one's on this glass, no one can shoot me from this angle. It's a safe jump in. And this jump is also nice because even though I'm separated from my team, the other team is not at all expecting this off angle, so I do get a really easy kill here. This Tetra just does not know to look for me. Rapid tries to crossover, the same reason. He thought this glass was clear, and now he's caught with his pants down. I get 2 easy kills off of this beacon. You do need to be careful when you're using beacons like this, because again, it does leave you very isolated, but I knew because the information I had off the map from opponents being damaged and from being near the beacon, that it would be safe, and that I could capitalize on that off position. Now here I get storm ready, I can pop it towards zone and drop down. I'd throw a wall here and shoot around just to be sure it's clear. I didn't actually know if there's anyone trucking here or not. Again, because their comp is so aggro, is very possible. But I do quickly see that there's not, and now I can just focus, again, this angle from the right side with Blob, because it shoots this long passive ink. Having this narrow zone from this angle just lets us flip this insanely quickly. I'm very content to hold this position now. I've learned from earlier not to be overzealous and push up. Instead, I'm just going to help my team clean up this person behind. I come in and help my Skull Shoot with this kill. I do miss a few shots, so I will end up trading. Still, it is an okay kill to get. We do lose zone off of it though, going 2 down, but it could be worse. Now because my junior is stuck here on this low ground getting pushed, I am trying to come over and save them. We see 2 of them, I start immediately spamming the direction and get pretty lucky with the lineups. Break 1 armor and get an assist. This Tetra is now stuck, and I can help my team clean that up. And immediately, even though we just lost zone, we just lost some numbers, with the right team play and approach, we immediately turned those number advantages around and got these 2 easy picks, and now we fight this 4v2 in zone. This will be a very easy retake, and zone just becomes ours. Get a nice kill while painting, because Blob does that sometimes. Come through V1 this right side with my team, and get all these picks. Very well played. That was a very nice retake, and it could have gone a bit wrong. It was pretty lucky, honestly, that my junior survived alone so long like that, but more power to them, and also just good job to my team for listening to callouts. I did not have the audio on at this point, but there were callouts. We were calling out to group that up and to crossfire that, to take those fights in that order, so that was a very nice team play from us, so I'm rather proud of that. And again, I've learned from my mistakes. I have no reason to move from this bottom side position. I can pressure zone so well, I get a lot of information. I just don't have to peek this out, I don't have to push up to above zone. There's just no reason to risk that. I have storm ready as well, so I can pop that towards glass. If they try to come over top, there's not much they can do. They'll be weak to that storm, and at that point I just finish them off. But they do try to run into zone altogether. They sort of have to because there's 2 seconds, but running into wall shots tends to result in triple kills like that. And that's the game. But yeah, that's all for this match. The big things I have for myself is obviously at the beginning I was getting rather antsy, rather impatient, trying to push up and take these aggro angles that weren't really warranted given the amount of information I had. Could have done a lot better to wait even just a few seconds to help paint up and confirm that the areas were safe before I did them, such as running to bottom right immediately at the start or trying to take the shots underneath their glass early on. However, I do think I did a good job of adapting mid-match and learning from those mistakes, playing a lot more patient near the end and safe. Also, my team did a really good job setting up crossfires, pushing things together and taking advantage of our numbers advantages when we got a few picks. But overall, it was a good match, and that's why I wanted to show it. Close matches tend to be really nice for VODs, not only because they're rather exciting, because obviously, close matches have more stuff that happens in them, they tend to go longer, but also for it to be close, you have to have done some things right to not immediately lose, but you also have to have done some things wrong to not immediately win. There's definitely a fair few things to be pulled from this match, both good and bad. Yeah, let me know what you think. This is rather scuffed because unlike most of my things, there's no way to really script this. This is more on the fly and my thoughts just as I see them, as I think of these things. But yeah, I'm very down to do more of these in the future if people like it, as well as with other weapons, or even just still with Blob on different maps, different matches, whatever it might be. I think this is very fun to do, especially as I'm trying to build my skill set in just communicating and coaching in general, so I think it's a nice way for me to practice that. Anyway, that's all from me, so thanks for watching, and have a good one.